Sometimes in life, we find ourselves stuck at a crossroads, when things no longer go according to plan, when faith wavers and a quiet question echoes inside. Am I strong enough to keep moving? We used to believe that happiness meant everything going smoothly, that peace meant the absence of difficulties. But then life teaches us a different lesson. Peace does not come from avoiding the storm, but from learning how to stand firm amidst the storm. There will be days when you lose people you love. Plans fall apart, work doesn't go as planned, and you feel small against the world. But it is precisely in those moments, when there is no place left to hide, we are forced to turn inward and realize that true strength was never found in circumstances, but in how we confront those circumstances. That is precisely the spirit of Stoicism, a philosophy not just to read, but to live. It does not promise us an easy life, but grants us a strong and tranquil mind, enough to walk through loss, failure, and the things we cannot control. The 7 laws in this journey are not distant advice, but practical tools, distilled from the experiences of people who faced slavery, war, and loneliness, yet managed to keep the light within. If you have ever felt tired, confused, or lost your way, consider this a reminder to start again, from within yourself. Because true strength does not come from controlling the world, but from mastering the mind. If you believe that every person can become stronger, join me on this journey. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the Stoic Journey channel so you don't miss any lessons that might awaken the strength inside you. Now, let's begin that journey, where we learn to stand firm amidst the storm and turn hurt into strength. Number 1, embrace adversity as an opportunity for growth. None of us wishes for pain. No one wants failure, loss, or betrayal. But looking back, those very things have taught us more than any success. It is the storm that forges human character, not the sunny days. Adversity, sometimes it does not come to defeat us, but to awaken a strength we never knew we had within ourselves. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When everything in life collapses, when plans vanish and faith is lost, that is not the end. That is the test to see if we truly live by what we preach. Can we remain calm amidst the crisis? Can we choose a wise response instead of despair? Do we have the courage to look at suffering and ask, what is this teaching me? Because every adversity conceals a gift, but only those who are calm enough will realize it. Failure teaches us humility. Loss teaches us appreciation. The trail teaches us to let go. And loneliness teaches us to return to ourselves. Stoicism does not make the pain disappear, it makes us grow from the pain. Instead of asking, why me, ask, what can I learn from this? Because what matters is not what happens, but how we respond. The next time life throws you into a terrible situation, don't rush to resent it. View it as a secret training session the universe has sent you. Because without fire, steel cannot become a sword. And without adversity, a person cannot find true strength within themselves. If you have ever gone through adversity and emerged stronger, please share that story in the comments section below. Who knows, your story might help someone else stand up tomorrow. Number 2, master your mind and emotions. Sometimes a careless word is enough to shatter the faith within us. Just one judgment can make us angry, hurt, and consume an entire day dwelling on that emotion. But try to stop and ask yourself, is it true that others are controlling my mind? Or have I given that power to them myself? The Stoic philosophers believed that no one can make us angry, hurt, or despair if we do not allow it to happen. Epictetus, who was once a slave, yet possessed a mind freer than most of the most powerful people of his time, said, "Anyone who can make you angry is your master." When we react impulsively, we lose our own freedom. But when we know how to stop, observe, and choose our response, we become the masters. Calmness is not weakness. It is the highest expression of inner strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Mastering perception is not about suppressing emotions, but about understanding them clearly, acknowledging anger, fear, or sorrow, and calmly letting them pass without being swept away. Because when we learn to observe, we are no longer victims of our emotions. We are the guides for our own mind. The next time someone insults you, do not rush to react. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this truly worth losing my peace over? Choose silence when necessary and respond with understanding instead of anger. Not because you are weak, but because you are stronger than the need to prove anything. Only the person who can master their emotions is the one not controlled by this world. When the mind becomes tranquil, you will realize no enemy is more fearsome than the chaos within your own heart. Number 3, cultivate humility and empathy. Hidden deep within this life is a form of quiet strength, not found in a loud voice or power, but in humility and the ability to understand people. In a world where everyone wants to speak up, where everyone wants to be heard, the person who knows how to be silent often becomes the strongest. Humility is not weakness, but the courage to admit that you don't know everything and always have more to learn. Perhaps this is why creation gave us 2 ears but only 1 mouth, as a gentle reminder that listening is twice as important as speaking. Sometimes it is precisely stillness that helps us see through people's hearts more clearly than 1,000 words of dialogue. The Stoic philosophers did not view humility as weakness. Humility is the discipline of the mind. It keeps us alert against the illusion that we are always right, allowing us to realize that everyone has something worth learning from, even those who dislike us. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Before judging another person, pause for a moment and ask yourself, does something similar to that flaw exist within me? For what annoys us in others is often a reflection of ourselves." That saying is like a mirror turned inward. When we see the shortcomings of others, it is highly likely that we are seeing the unhealed part of ourselves. Even at work, when criticized by a boss during a meeting, the instinct is to immediately react to prove that we are not wrong. But a person who understands Stoicism chooses to listen, take notes, and then correct. Because the goal is not to protect the ego, but to develop competence. And when parents say things that hurt us, we often want to argue back. But if we pause for a beat, we will see behind those clumsy words is the fear that their child will stumble. That is not control, but love that hasn't learned how to express itself. Or a small situation, like a server accidentally spilling something, is enough to make our ego flare up. But if we have empathy, we will stop and think, perhaps they are just exhausted today. Just one moment of understanding instead of anger, and we have kept that day from getting worse. Empathy does not make us weak, it makes us profound. Because understanding is not acceptance, but choosing the reaction that soothes things without causing further harm. But to achieve that empathy, the mind needs to be trained to avoid being swept into emotion while maintaining clarity and tranquility. Training the Stoic mind is not done with words, but with small actions every day. Limitless, do not rush to react. Breathe, be silent for a minute, and listen to see if there is any truth in their words. Before reacting, guide your mind toward peace instead of proving yourself right. Every day, one kind deed for someone who cannot repay you. Humility does not make us small. It makes us grow in a way that doesn't require raising our voice. When the heart knows how to listen, we don't just understand others better, we also understand ourselves more deeply. Number 4, practice gratitude. In life, the things we miss most are precisely the things that are present every day. We look at people who are more successful to feel inadequate, and look at people who are happier to feel deprived. And thus, despite living amidst countless valuable things, we still feel empty. The Stoic philosophers believed that gratitude is the foundation of peace. A grateful person does not have everything, but one who recognizes the value in the small things that others often overlook. Seneca once wrote, "There is nothing nobler than a thankful heart." That statement, though seemingly simple, is a profound reminder, because when we are grateful, we stop and see the beauty in the most ordinary things. A breath remaining with us, a warm meal, a friend who still listens to us when the whole world turns away. Those seemingly small things are precisely the roots of peace. It is easy to be grateful when life is smooth, but true gratitude is only tested when everything falls apart. When there is loss, we may be in pain, but if amidst the pain we still recognize the lesson it brings, that is the moment we truly grow. Gratitude is not denying the sadness, but seeing the light even within the darkness. Pause for a moment to reflect. Waking up every day is already a gift. An opportunity to live differently, to start over. The fact that you are reading these lines means you still have bright eyes and a mind that has not stopped seeking good things. That is not a given. It is a gift that many others crave. But gratitude is not just a fleeting emotion. It is a habit of the soul, something that needs to be cultivated every day to slowly change the way we see the world. Because only when gratitude becomes a natural part of our thoughts can we truly feel its power. To make gratitude more vivid every day. Every morning, write down 3 things you currently have. Things that may be ordinary to you, but might be a dream for someone else. When something bad happens, don't rush to resentment. Pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and look around. Even in difficulty, there is always something to be grateful for. Perhaps it's a person who silently stays by your side, or just the fact that you still have enough strength to stand up, to continue moving. Before sleeping, recall a small moment during the day that made you feel peaceful. A smile, a hug, or just the moment you slowed your breath after a long day. Then softly whisper a word of thanks, even if no one hears it. Gratitude does not make life easier, but it makes us deeper and stronger. When we are grateful, we stop tallying what is missing and begin to appreciate every single thing we have. And that is the beginning of true peace. When we are grateful, we stop. When we stop, we are present. Number 5, live fully in the present. There have been times when we live as if we are running after work, running after expectations, and things that haven't arrived yet, and inadvertently lose the moment right before our eyes. We live for tomorrow, but neglect today. And when tomorrow becomes today, we continue that same race until we look back and realize we've missed an entire life just because we were always busy looking for something else. Marcus Aurelius once reminded, "Do not allow your mind to wander into the past or the future. Only the present is where you truly live. That statement is not an abstract philosophy, but a survival principle for keeping the mind from breaking amidst life's chaos. If we know how to stop and focus on this very moment, worries dissolve and energy begins to return to the present, where all real action begins. The Stoic philosophers did not teach us to abandon life, but showed us how the soul can remain at peace when everything around is changing. They did not say, "Don't think about tomorrow," but said, "Don't let tomorrow steal today." Try to notice. When you are eating, your mind is at work. When you are working, your mind is thinking about the holiday. When you are resting, your mind is worried about tomorrow. And so, we live without ever truly being present. Living fully in the present is not about neglecting everything, but about being wholeheartedly devoted to the task at hand. If you are working, do it as if it is the most important task of your life. If you are talking, listen with your full presence. If you are with someone, let your gaze meet theirs profoundly. There is a quiet strength in the present moment. It is not noisy, not dazzling, but it is the only place where we truly belong. Because the past is closed, the future has not arrived. Only the present is unfolding. When you take a deep breath without rushing, when you sit in silence without feeling empty, when you hear your heart beat and don't try to run anywhere else, that is when you are truly living. No longer pulled back by what has passed, no longer afraid of what is coming. There is only you and this moment, whole, complete, peaceful. And only when we are truly present in every moment do we realize peace is not a destination, but the very path we are walking. Number 6, focus on your efforts, not the outcome. There was a time when you poured your whole heart into something, a relationship, a dream, a job, but the outcome was not what you expected. You tried hard, yet everything still fell apart. You gave, but received no response. And in the moment you look back, you feel exhausted, both sad and empty, and ask yourself, was all my effort worth it? Marcus Aurelius answered that question more than 2,000 years ago. Don't concern yourself with whether your actions are recognized by someone else. Just do what is right. The rest, let life arrange itself. You cannot control the outcome, but you can choose how you walk the path. And if you have lived rightly, if you have done what needed to be done, then you have already won, even if the result is not as beautiful as expected. Truly strong people are not those who always get what they want, but those who do not let failure define them. They understand that life owes us neither fairness nor thanks. We do not live to demand, but to demonstrate our character through every action, every time we stand up, every time we let go at the right moment. Letting go is not giving up, but trusting. Trusting that if you have sown with all your heart, that seed will sprout in its own way, whether you are there to see it or not. Like a gardener, they don't sit and watch which day the leaves sprout. They just do their part, cultivate the soil, water, and then let time do the rest. And so, when you have tried your best, let life worry about the rest. What you think is a loss is life opening another path for you. What you cling to is precisely what is stopping you from moving forward. The result is just a moment, but the journey of effort, that is where you truly grow. Trust the process, even when it hurts you. Trust the person you are, even when others haven't recognized that value. And trust that everything happening is forging you into a stronger version of yourself. Because ultimately, The winner is not the person who has everything, but the person who can stand firm against all storms. Number 7, live by virtue. In an age where everyone wants to be seen, praised, and recognized, living by virtue is a rare choice. Because living by principle does not always bring rewards. Sometimes you do the right thing but are misunderstood. You live honestly but are viewed as naive. You help others but are met with suspicion in return. And then you ask yourself, is it worth being kind in an unfair world? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If what you are doing is right, do not trouble yourself whether anyone sees it or not. For true value lies in the action, not in the gaze of others." That is the essence of virtue, doing the right thing even when no one knows, no one praises, and no one understands. Not because you need to prove you are good, but because you cannot do otherwise. A soul disciplined by virtue will always choose integrity, even if that path is the one less traveled. In work, it is when you tell the truth, even though one lie could help you advance further. In relationships, it is when you maintain respect, even when others hurt you. In daily life, it is when you still keep your promise, even if no one else remembers it. Virtue is the foundation of an unshakable mind. Reputation can change, money can be lost, but virtue, once built, remains as the compass guiding you through all of life's storms. Living by virtue does not mean becoming a perfect person. It simply means choosing the right thing, even when the wrong thing is easier. It is listening to your conscience instead of the noise of the crowd. It is continuing to do good, not to be applauded, but so that your mind can be at peace. And perhaps that is the greatest freedom a person can achieve. Freedom from the need for recognition. Because when you do not need anyone to validate your worth, you begin to live authentically as yourself. Simply, silently, but powerfully. Don't wait for anyone to bestow upon you the title of good person, because the reward for a life of virtue does not lie in praise, but in the peace you feel every time you look in the mirror and don't have to look away. Finally, remember, no one can take away your virtue unless you give it up yourself. And when you maintain integrity amidst a chaotic world, you have won, not against others, but against the weakness within yourself. We have just gone through 7 principles, 7 foundational stones that build a stable and free mind amidst life's changes. From learning how to face adversity, master emotions, cultivate humility, to gratitude, presence, letting go, and virtue. Each principle is not just a philosophy, but a state of being. Following Stoicism is not a theory to read, but a journey to practice. It does not promise us an easy life, but points to a mind strong enough to walk through every challenge. You will have tired days, moments when you want to give up, and times when you feel nothing is progressing. But it is precisely in those moments that this philosophy unleashes its true power. It reminds you, no one can take away your peace unless you give it away. When others hurt you, choose understanding instead of resentment. When failure discourages you, remember, value lies not in the outcome, but in the journey you dared to walk. And then, little by little, you will realize the unconquerable mind is not created in peace, but forged in challenge. It is formed every time you choose calm over anger, patience over complaining, and action over blaming fate. Life will never unfold exactly as we wish, but the master of the mind will not be overcome by circumstances. They know that true strength is not in controlling everything, but but in the ability to stand firm oneself, even when everything else changes. If the insights in this journey have resonated with you, take a moment to reflect and share your feelings below. And if you want to delve deeper into this journey, the journey of inner freedom, quiet strength, and peace, please subscribe to the Stoic Journey channel and turn on notifications so that every day we can move forward together, slowly, steadfastly, and more profoundly, on the path of learning to master the mind in order to master life.